Well, that's all the wiring done now for the air ride. All the earths are done, powered up. Now it just needs to do the air lines from the tank to the manifolds, and then from the manifolds out through this vent here underneath the car, and then to the 4 struts. So on with that. Time for hoses. The air lines are going to run from these outlet valves, rear, front, out through the vent, the slam vent. So I either need to cut this open or try and remove this so I can get the 4 hoses to go down there. To rear and that's the air lines done. They run from the tank to the valves, solenoids, manifolds, whatever you want to say, front and rear. They then exit through the side bulkhead and go down between the body and the bumper. Beautiful. Well, before I rip out the coilover suspension, I've connected up all the hoses to the airbags, front and rear. I can see that some of the hoses I'm going to need to extend, particularly the rear ones for some reason. And there's the front right, which is silver. Right. A flashing light here. Check the connection for the controller, and we have liftoff. The ECU has now been recognized with the good old unplug it and plug it back in trick. So it has set itself to manual. You can see the air pressure slightly going up, and there we go. 175 psi has been reached and the compressor has stopped running. I've got the car running because I didn't want the battery to go flat while I did this. But so now we're up to pressure. I've got no pressure in each of the airbags, which is where I've got to start with, and no leaks so far. So now to fit the struts that I've done a system check. Looking good so far. Well, Preston Tucker is now floating. I've applied some penetrating fluid to all the bolts that are going to be undone. Top strut mounts, lower struts, anti-roll bar links. So you can see the coilover is just lurking in the back there. Good job, Jeremy. Good job, mate. I'm just going to check that the new drop links that I've received are the correct size. Yep. Let's pop that straight back in there. Good opportunity to replace all of the suspension components while I'm doing this. So here we go. Anti-roll bar drop links done. I always knew the spare scissor jack from the 944 was going to come in handy. Fits perfectly underneath the axle. I'm just using it to take the load off the rear axle so I can disconnect the dampers and let the axle drop. Alright, so that is the rear axle drop now. That's one. Adjuster. Realize is with the rear airbags, once I'd fitted those elbows, it became quite apparent to me that that would not fit underneath the car. So there is a cup for the spring underneath that this fits onto, and there's then bolted in place. But I didn't really understand that I have to drill a 1.5 inch hole in the boot floor because the air lines for the rear run inside the car, not underneath. So a couple of steps backwards, floor has been pulled out of the van, and I'm going to drill some pilot holes and then put nice big chunky holes in my floor. So we'll have to figure out what happens to the wood after that. So lots of time lapse coming up. Here we go. Bada bing. Well, there's the hole. And there's the other one. Smack in the middle of the boot floor. Time for a little bit of rust prevention while I'm in there. Now I'm going to move on to the front struts and start with the 3 top mounts there, and then do the strut, the main strut bolts, which are those 2 over there. Drop that out, put the airbag in, connect that all up, and then replace the wishbones. These are actually quite loose. Put some penetrating fluid on these, and that seems to have done the trick. These are not. I'm hoping the front struts will go a little bit quicker than the rear, because I wasn't expecting to drill holes in the floor. Anyway, that's all done. Anti-roll bar out. Time to fit some new bushes. I mean, look at those. They're manky. And this is why you change rubber bushes, because this is what they eventually land up looking like. Silicone grease on here. As a comparison, here's the old bush and here's a new one. New ones have a split in them like the old ones, which is great. Pop that over there. Bit of silicone grease around here. Hopefully that'll stop the new bushes from squeaking. Gotta squeeze these closed so that they fit. There we go. Good stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.